this is Diane from Teach Pre-K, and I want to talk to you guys about the reality of preschool cleanup. Um, when I first started teaching, I read a lot from other preschool teachers. I watched a lot of video from other preschool teachers. I observed a lot of teachers in my school, but they were older grades. I was not able to really watch any other preschool teachers. I attended conferences and I learned a lot there. But one thing I really wasn't prepared for as a new teacher, I had been a stay at home mom and I had two little girls at home, and they were like your typical kids. They really didn't love cleaning up and they didn't do a great job cleaning up, but I could, crack the whip and get them to clean up their toys alongside of me, and they would do it. I was their mom. I had the power of the mom bribe. You don't get to watch your movie until we get this playroom cleaned up, or we need to put the books away before we can go to Target, or we made a mess doing crafts in the kitchen, and before we do some puzzles, we need to get that cleaned up so we don't have too much to clean up. And it all made sense. It was two children in an environment that I had complete control over. Well, at least I thought I did. When you have little kids, you don't have complete control over anything. It's just an illusion. But when I stepped into a 3-year-old classroom with 16 kids and a 4-year-old classroom with 18 kids, I quickly learned that it's really, really hard to get all those kids to clean up all those toys that they've had such a wonderful time with during our mini center and center time, which are 2 times of the day that we clean up. So I'm just a lifelong student, and my classroom is as much a classroom for myself where I learn a lot, as well as a classroom for my kids. So I kind of took a little step back from stressing out about the cleanup, trying to figure out the solution. And I thought, I want to see what's actually happening. So yes, I have to facilitate the cleanup, and I actually do a large part of the cleanup. I am an adult in the room. I have an aide. She is the second large part of the cleanup. Normally in our mornings, we have 3 areas to clean up, 3 tables, kind of a crafty table, a building table, and then kind of a, puzzles sometimes, dolls sometimes, it's just kind of a different table. It'll have different things all the time. But sometimes there's a lot of little pieces involved, like Legos or plastic gears or blocks or train tracks and trains, or just like little pieces of things that fit together, or puzzles that they decided to just tip over all of them at once and not do any of the puzzles. We are supervising those tables, but sometimes, you guys, this is the reality. There are fires to put out. Someone could have had a potty accident. Somebody could be fighting with another child. Another child could be crying. Another child could have a new sibling in their family and they need extra love. Your aide might be sick and you have a substitute aide that really doesn't understand how the classroom environment works. There are so many factors at play all the time. Plus, you not only have the 16 personalities of your children, you have your personality, your aide's personality, and if you have another aide, you have their personality. You might have your principal floating in to ask you some questions, or oh my gosh, there's a million things that can happen. So you can't always be on top of trying to keep things off the floor. And children are messy, and they thrive in an environment where they can see all the pieces. You will not believe the amount of times where I've had a child say, he's not sharing all the square magnet tiles. And I look at the floor where they're standing, and there are literally 35 square magnet tiles on the floor. And I will just say, I'm looking at the floor and wow, there's enough magnet tiles on the floor to make, a giant building or whatever. They still won't get those magnet tiles off the floor. I'm not kidding. Hand to God, they won't. So, a lot of teachers on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook will say, I've got the trick and it's this song and we sing this song and we do X, Y, and Z. You guys, they figure it all out really, really quick. I know that at this point of the year, when it's time to clean up, I give a 1 minute warning for cleanup. So they know cleanup is coming. I scan the room and I see, okay, they're trying to build the Eiffel Tower over at the Lego table right now. They're pretty close. So my 1 minute might be 2 or 3 minutes. I'm going to let them finish that tower because it'll cause a lot of sadness if we have to tear it apart before they do. Oh, I see a bunch of kids at the writing center. Oh, they've been really working on those pictures. I might want to wait a little longer, or I'll look at the clock and go, I've got to get to circle time so we can get centers going on time because my centers are going to run a little long today. Whatever. The time is in my head. So that 1 minute is basically just a warning. Kids don't know how long a minute is anyway. So they get a warning. I, as the teacher, am paying attention, trying to solve any problems that I see that could happen when we say it's time to clean up, right? Got those things going on already. When I tell my little light helper to turn the lights off and say it's time to clean up, I am already positioning myself at the table that I'm going to clean up at. My aide knows that wherever I am, they are at a different place. If we're lucky enough to have a third aide that day, or a second aide, third teacher, they are going to be at the other area, right? But we also have the magnet board and the library center that they can go to during our little morning time. And there could be books all over the floor and magnets all over the floor. Who knows, right? Kids can get a little crazy. And when they're 16 in a tiny room, you cannot possibly know what every single one of them are doing all the time. So we say it's time to clean up. And that's when Barney comes out and they sing the clean up, and everyone cleans up and it gets done before the song's done. And everyone's as happy as can be, and we head to circle time. No, that never happens. There are days where cleanup goes really smooth, but for the most part, I start cleaning up and then I look because there's the kids who take cleanup time as a time where the teacher's not going to be watching and they're going to go and do something else. It just happens. Oh, I didn't look at any of these books. I'm going to start looking at books now. Oh, I didn't play with the magnets. I think I'll start doing that now. Or, oh, I didn't go to the Lego table. I'm going to start putting Legos together. Or I'm just going to wander aimlessly so I don't have to clean up. So this is when you've got to be a thinker. I will go up to, let's say it's Archer. Archer is my little guy in the morning who is as cute as can be, but he's smarter than a whip. And he knows I'm not going to be paying attention, so he can just start making mischief and wrestling with his friends, and he's adorable. But I'll say, oh my gosh, Archer, I really need you to help me. You are so good at getting all the Play-Doh out of the trays and into the bag. We need your help over at the Play-Doh table. And I kind of usher Archer over to that Play-Doh table. And I'm like, oh my gosh, look how good you are. Usually there's a little buddy with Archer and they're like, I'm good at it too. And I'm like, yeah, but you know what you're better at? I was noticing the other day that no one can find Legos like you can, or no one can make my bookshelf look as good as you. And I will compliment them and tell them they're excellent at it, or I think you're the only one that can help me with this. If we're really struggling and there's a lot of stuff on the floor, I have 4 plastic Easter baskets with handles that I got at the dollar store that are my floor buckets. And I've done a video about the floor buckets before. I will bring out the floor bucket and I'm like, who wants a floor bucket? This is only for things on the floor. Pick things up off the floor and then sort them and go to the tables where they belong. You guys, it works like a charm. They are all clamoring for a floor bucket. If they're not cleaning up, I say, oh, you can't have a floor bucket if you're not cleaning stuff up off the floor. Another thing that we resort to is the human vacuum cleaners. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be a human vacuum cleaner. And I'll go, and I'll start cleaning stuff up. The kids hear this, oh my gosh, guess who wants to be human vacuum cleaners? We're Lego vacuum cleaners, we're block vacuum cleaners, we're puzzle piece vacuum cleaners. Whatever. It works. Also, one thing that I do that works a lot is I'll say, I'm looking over at our art center. There are so many scraps under the tables and on the floor. I need everybody, and I think about, okay, who am I with? Preschool 3-4s or my pre-K 4-5s. If it's my pre-K and the floor is really dirty, I'm going to say everyone needs to pick up 8 pieces of paper and come to me and show me that you got 8. You guys, 9 times out of 10, they're going to go, I got more than 8. Your floor is going to get cleaned up so fast. Or one little trick that I only pull this out at times of absolute desperation is there will be a magic scrap or a magic piece or a magic Lego. And they need to pick up Legos and come and show them to me, and I'll tell them if they've got the magic Lego. Well, of course, the magic scrap of paper, the magic Lego, the magic race car is not found until the very end when almost everything is cleaned up. So sometimes when someone has found the magic whatever, I'll give them a special job during circle time. I'll usually make it up. But make it worth their while, honestly. I also, and you guys, sometimes this backfires on me, I have a little speaker in my room that is Bluetooth enabled so I can pick songs off my phone. I'll look around the room, and if the kids are being pretty good and there's still a little bit to clean up and they're just like dragging their feet cleaning up, but they're not extra hyped up, like I would never do it the week of Halloween or the week of Christmas. No way. I played the theme from Mission Impossible for them to clean up. It's like 2 minutes and 30 seconds long, and it has that build up. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my gosh, you guys, they love it so much. I mean, if I combined the Mission Impossible song with the floor buckets, the whole room would be spotless in like 90 seconds, I'm sure. But the reality of cleanup in the preschool classroom is the teachers do the bulk, I would say, and it's kind of chaotic. And because the teachers facilitate so much of the cleanup, but they also have to be the ones to step back and look and see who might need special assignments. Because special assignments, like, I need you to be in charge of, kids love to be in charge of stuff. You to be in charge of crayons. You to be in charge of markers. You are in charge of the Mr. Potato Head pieces. All of them have to be put away. You're in charge of it. If people aren't helping clean up, you can tell them they need to help clean up. Oh my gosh. They're now the Mr. Potato Head authority. So you guys, you gotta look for the kids that need those prompts, that need to be the special helper, that need to be told they're really, really good at something, that need to be the expert or in charge of. So that pulls you away from the cleaning up part. And you've got to be doing this show almost this whole time because you are running the show. And it does take a lot of energy, and it can be really frustrating. One thing that you can always do to cut down on the amount of cleanup is to not put as many toys out, not put all the magnet tiles out or all the Legos out. Put a good portion of them. And then if they get really into building and you see they need more pieces, you can bring more pieces out, or they might be satisfied with less. It's always another option, because cleanup is never this wonderful, harmonious, butterflies flying, Cinderella singing. I mean, it just isn't. It isn't. It is a chaotic time. Transitions with really little kids, especially when you have a lot of them in a small space, they are always, 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 always going to be a problem area of your day. You can use a lot of tricks and a lot of little songs and things that you do to make them go a little smoother, but that's only going to work for so long. You guys, it's like singing the same song every day when you get to circle time. After a while, the kids are going to start rolling around. You need to mix it up. So mix up your cleanup as much as you can. Try lots of different things. I did also assign tables, my 3 tables. Go look at where your face is. I would only do this for pre-K, and I would only do it the second half of the year. And that's the area you need to clean up. Once their area was cleaned up, they could go sit on the rug and be ready for circle time. And it was amazing how well that worked too. I might try it again this year. I don't have as difficult a group as I had last year, so I'm not feeling like, oh gosh, I've got to try new things. Usually when they're done cleaning up their area, they go help a friend. And I also use those words when we do time to clean up for center time. I'll say, clean up where you are, then go help a friend. And when we're all cleaning up, I have to do the same thing I did for our little morning routine when they come in and they play at the 3 tables. I have to make sure that I say, oh my gosh, you're really good at sweeping the sensory area. Will you please get the broom and dustpan out? You are so good at sweeping. Are any of the 3 to 4-year-olds good at sweeping? No, they're not. They're not good at sweeping. If they are, hats off to ya. It is something they need to practice and practice and practice and practice. And usually they end up making a little bit more of a mess. But I get some of them focused on doing that, and then I can get other kids focused on doing what they're really good at. But anyway, I don't know if there is one good or perfect way to do any of this. I am just one teacher telling you what works for me. If you have some things that work well for you, I want to hear them. I want to know, what's your cleanup routine? What do you do? Do you use floor buckets? Do you throw everything in a basket like I do for cleaning up my block center and my dramatic play center? Check out some of my videos, you guys. I have a block basket and a dramatic play basket. It's cut down on cleanup time headaches. Is it the ultimate solution? No. Do some kids still not clean up? Yes. It's just the way it goes. It goes that way all the time. I'm sure that there are teachers in your own school that don't clean up their messes all the time in the faculty lounge or in their classroom or what in the copy room, right? You're always going to have those people everywhere. It's never going to run perfectly smoothly. No one is going to ever do exactly what they're supposed to do all the time in any situation. Why we expect 3 to 5-year-olds to be perfect at cleanup time and have just that one clean up, everybody everywhere song, solve all our problems? That's crazy. It's not going to work. I am here to help and to be real and let you know that we are all dealing with the same things. And anybody who tells you they don't have any problems at cleanup time or at circle time, they're selling you a bill of goods. We all have our areas of expertise. We all get better and better at the things that we focus on every single year, which is why I hope we all focus on different things at different times. But I'm here to tell you, cleanup time is always going to be a challenge, but it's a challenge you can meet, and you can find lots of different ways to make it work better for you if you have lots of tricks up your sleeve. The more tricks you have up your sleeve, the better. And that's got to be more tricks than expecting them to behave like good little soldiers and get the cleanup done. Threats aren't going to work. Yelling and a mean voice isn't going to work. The nicer you are, the better it's going to go for you and for them. So, interesting thing happened here. My screen went to sleep. I don't know if it's still recording. It is, yay. Okay, so again, thanks for watching. Sorry this went extra long. I love to talk. Talk to you later.